yeah, when you're a regular agent, you have more things to do and more places to be. Okay. But as a referral agent, referrals are more office and administrative type of vibes. So, for me, there's no other place I want to be other than, here in my home office. Those are the main difference for work style. Okay. Regular agents, regular real estate agents, they're out and about, they're active. And then referral agents is a more office vibe, administrative type of thing. You don't really have to, there's nowhere you got to be, because you're not necessarily meeting with the clients in person, anything like that. It can be a little bit unpredictable and at different times than you expected for regular agents. But for referral agents, it's a bit more flexible because you're not, like I said, there's no place, that you really have to be, because you're not going to be meeting the clients in person, and you're not going to be at these properties in person, nothing like that. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Yashiraka, and in today's video, we are going to go over what I will be doing as a real estate referral agent and not just a regular agent. And so I'm going to do a quick comparison of the two and why I am a referral agent now, because I did start off as a regular real estate agent. But now, with this being my 4th year in real estate, I am switching it up, and I am doing I'm really doing this for a more work from home approach. So I'm going to tell you guys, some of the key differences in terms of regular agents being more out and about and referral agents being more chilled and laid back. It's more of an office vibe type of job. And so, yeah, you guys, we're going to get into that. So, of course, this is one of my Saturday videos. So this is where I kind of go behind the scenes of my real estate career. And so really quick, just to catch you guys up from the last video, I did launch my service, but there are some last minute things that I'm still working on. I still have to update my website. I have to add in the information that I need for the renters, and then I have to add in the marketing information for the agent. So I still have not done those. Those will be done by the end of the week, because this week I will be posting about the free resources I have on my website. So I have to get all of that done so I can post about that. And then next week I will be talking about the free packet that I have. So I have to have that packet done by the end of this week. By this weekend. The rest of them I have to have done like by tomorrow. So I have to have the free resources in. Hopefully I can have that in by tonight, and then, or like before I post what I need to post for Wednesday. So by Wednesday, today's Monday, so hopefully I can have that done by Wednesday. And then let me see, I need to have, no, I was right, by tomorrow, by Tuesday. I need to have that done by Tuesday. So oh boy, y'all, it's so much. I'm so unorganized, but I'm trying to, because I have to do all of these things so fast. So I have to have that done by tomorrow, which I'll have it done. But the packet I have to have done by this weekend so I can start promoting that next week. And then by the end of this month, by the end of September, I should be good to like really focus on pushing my business, pushing my content out there, networking with, different people, different agents, and, potential clients, all those type of things. So I'll really get into pushing my business more by the end of this month and towards next month. But right now I have to finish up these free resources. I'm just trying to, I don't want to jump out and pop off salesy. I don't want to do that, especially when I'm not ready. So right now I'm just promoting my free resources to clients and agents. And by next month, then we can talk about, the benefits of my business for everybody. So that's where I'm at right now, just to give you guys an update. So I'm still working on my marketing for the agents, and I'm still working on the packet for the renters, and I still have to update some things on my website, but I will have those done. All of those should be done by the end of this week. So but right now I'm going to tell you guys, the overall approach to, being a referral agent, what I do, and how it's different from being a regular real estate agent. So one of the main things, before I get into that, I'm going to break it down into 3 different categories, 3 different topics. So we're going to have the work style, the time commitment that goes into it, and then the expenses. So we're gonna start with work style. So that's number one. So again, I have everything listed out on here. So that's what I'm about to go over with you guys. I'm trying to make this, as quick as possible. But so for all right, I'm gonna start with regular agents and then referral agents. So work style, number one, work style. So the work style for regular agents they are more out and active. Now that is very common for buyer's agents because you're out showing your clients. You may have one client and you have 5 houses to show them scheduled for the day, and then you may have 2 other clients and you have more houses scheduled with them. So it just depends on how many clients you have and how you can what everybody's schedule is looking like and how you can get them in. But overall, when you're working with buyers, you're mainly showing houses. So that requires you to be out and about. Now, sellers don't always have it easy either. A lot of agents, most agents do work with both buyers and sellers, but some of them do not. Some only work with sellers. So if that's the case, you may not be, you may not be as out and active, but there are out and active activities that seller agents do, like what do they call it? Open houses. So if a seller's agent is doing an open house, that is when you pretty much open the house. You open the house to the public, and so a lot of people are there at once to come look at the house, and at a certain time frame. So maybe the open house is from 1 to 3, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So anybody who has an invite or know about it, or there may be signs and people they just want to come look around, just see the nice houses, sightseeing and whatever or whatnot. And so yeah, open house, that's something that requires you to be out and about when you're hosting those type of events. Let's see, what else do they do? Oh, if their home is, if you're just about to put the home on the market, you may want to be there for the photography when the photos are done. So you want to be at the properties for that, as well as staging if the home is being staged. So if you're adding different furnitures and moving things around, you want to be there for that. So there are things for where seller agents are out and about as well, listing agents. So yeah, there are things where they are out and about, but yeah, when you're a regular agent, you have more things to do and more places to be. Okay. But as a referral agent, referrals are more office and administrative type of vibes. So for me, there's no other place I want to be other than here in my home office, unless I'm out and about and I get a phone call or text message, email or whatnot about something real estate related. And so if I'm out and about, I, depending on what I'm doing or where I'm at, I will answer the phone or I will get back to them. But there's no specific place that I really have to be overall. So yeah, it's just mainly my office, because I'm not going to be meeting with clients. I'm not going to be the one showing them houses. If they want to buy a house, what I do is they'll come to me and they'll tell me what they're looking for, what their needs are, and I will find them an agent in their area that is good with their price range and those different type of things. Or if there's a specific house, let's say they don't want a tip, they don't want to, let's say they don't really want a regular single family home. Let's say they want a condo. So I will find somebody who's good with condos, and more experienced in that, know more about that. Because every agent is not good at at everything in every type of property. Or, let's say they are buying, but they're not buying for themselves. Let's say it's more of an investment. And so I want to find them an agent that's good with working with investors, and knowing about ROIs, which is return on investments and all those type of things, being good with numbers and money and finances. That's very important. So that is what I do. I am a matchmaker, pretty much a real estate matchmaker. So that's pretty much done from home, from my office. I spend a lot of time on my devices doing all of these tech things because I'm not out and about. When most agents who are out and about don't always have the time to do these little type of tasks because they're constantly out doing other things. So I do offer different services to agents, like a marketing service where I help create anything related to marketing. So if there's a listing or whatnot, I can help you create I help agents create any type of flyers or whatnot that they need, or social media posts. If they don't have time to make those, then I would help them with that. So that is something that I do. But again, that could be done. I jump on Canva and, but some agents just don't have time for that because again, they may be, if it is a listing agent, they may be, if they are a listing agent or a seller's agent, which is the same thing, they may be working with buyers as well. And so they're out and about and they may not have time. So sometimes they may want that extra assistance so that they can focus on other things that require them to be out and about. So those are the main difference for work style. Okay, regular agents, regular real estate agents, they're out and about, they're active. And then referral agents is a more office vibe, administrative type of thing. You don't really have to, there's nowhere you gotta be because you're not, necessarily meeting with the clients in person, anything like that. So that's that. So that's work style. Next, time commitment. All right, so again, this regular agents require you to be out and about, right? So everybody can't do these things at the same time. Okay, there are some people who are available in the morning and some people who are more available in the evening, or like after 5 o'clock. If you get off at 5 o'clock, then that's maybe the time that if a client gets off at 5 o'clock, that may be the time where that's the only time that they have to go looking at houses, is once they get off of work, once it's after 5. So sometimes it just depends on the client and their schedule, and then again your schedule as well. So sometimes you have to go out in the evening, later in the day. Sometimes you have to go out and do those type of things on the weekends, if they don't have any weekdays off, or so sometimes it can just be unpredictable in terms of what time you have to do things. So because let's say right now you just have one buyer client, right? And that you can go show them houses around like noon. But if you get a phone call or email saying, hey, I'm looking to buy in this area, can you help me out? And you get under contract or whatnot with this new client, so if an agent gets in under contract and you guys have this agreement, and so the agent says they can help a client out, and then now that they're working together, now you have a new client. Now you may have thought that you had the weekend off, but now this client can only view houses on weekends. So sometimes it just is complicated like that, because when you're out and about, that takes up a little bit more time, because you gotta now, if you weren't expecting to do that and now you have to go out this weekend, it's like, well, okay, now you gotta plan, you gotta get up, you gotta get dressed, you gotta drive there, and just a drive there can take up some time, depending on how far away you are from that area. Maybe a 30-minute drive, so that may be a 30-minute drive there, 30-minute drive back, and then including how long it takes you to view the home and all of that type of stuff. So it can be a little bit unpredictable, and at different times than you expected, for regular agents. But for referral agents, it's a bit more flexible, because you're not, like I said, there's no place that you really have to be, because you're not going to be meeting the clients in person, and you're not going to be at these properties in person, nothing like that. So it's just mainly office stuff. So phone calls, text messages, emails, DMs, those type of things. You're just responding in that way, but no place that you have to be, nobody you have to see in person. Video chats, that's probably the closest you're gonna come to seeing something, whether it's seeing the actual client or seeing the property. But other than that, it's a bit more flexible. You just have to schedule a quick call, a quick video chat, which shouldn't take that long, depending on what's it about. But other than that, the time commitment is just, you could have more of a set hours. If I wanted to do my hours 9 to 5, I could do that. But it's not always that simple. Some agents do have more set schedules than others, but some of them, for that deal, they are willing to be more flexible with their schedule and, work and put in weekends and, evenings and stuff like that. So it just depends. And then last but not least is expenses. So regular agents do have a higher expense. Definitely when it comes to being out and about, just off of that alone, you have gas, for your car, you have the mileage in your car, you have your car maintenance. So, whatever's, any issues that you have with your car, tires and whatnot, you have those to consider, right off the bat. Now, you also have the regular real estate bills. So depending on what real estate brokerage an agent is with can determine what they're paying. in terms of what they are paying their brokerage. If you are working with buyers and sellers, you are part of the MLS, and so we have these different associations. You have local associations, state associations, national associations, and you have to pay for those. We have to pay for our memberships. I know I had to pay when I was a part of 3 of Mines. We used to pay all of that at once at the end of the year. December 15th is when it was always due, and it was like $600. Yeah, for all 3 of them, all 3 together, not each, but yeah, for all 3 of them together, I had to pay that. For my local association, I had to pay, on top of that, I did have to pay $25 a month for my access to the MLS, for access to, all of the housing information in terms of the area that I was in, the 2 counties that my local association served. So I did have to pay that. So I was paying $25 for that. And then an additional, I believe, $91.80 to my brokerage. So yeah, over $100 a month I was paying towards that. So yeah, you have those things. Of course, your marketing, whether you are marketing, somebody's house if you have a listing or you're selling, or marketing yourself, marketing your own service where you're trying to get clients. So that's something else you have to pay for. Of course, continuing education, depending on where you are, what state you are in, determines how often you have to renew it. Some are 1, some are 2, some are 3, some are 4, or is it one of them that's 4 or something like that. But my state is every 2 years, so we do have to pay for that for our continuing education. Yeah, and then so yeah, you have to pay for the actual classes when you get your license. And the continuing education, you have to pay when you renew your license. You have to pay for that. You have to buy the new license, and so it's just, real estate comes with its own expenses enough as it is. So yeah, you got to think about your expenses when it comes to that. But as a referral agent, for me, my expenses has went down since I've become a referral agent. I am not a member of none of the 3 associations. I don't have to be anymore, so I don't have to pay that large amount, that $600 at the end of the year. So I'm glad for that. I do not have to pay that monthly fee for the local association, because again, I'm not a member of any of them now, so don't need to pay that. Also, I do not my payment to my brokerage is lower now because I'm not a part of their main office now, which I am with eXp Realty. That is the brokerage I am with, but I am under their referral department now, which is the eXp referral division. And so we don't have as many things, and we don't need as many things as the regular real estate agents do. So our expenses are cut to, like I said, I was paying $91.80 before. So now I am paying, I believe, $54, like $53.50, I believe. So yeah, so that's been cut. Instead of the whole like 1 something that I was paying, like I said, it was the $91.80 plus that $25. So yeah, now I'm paying just $53, $54. So I'm glad for that. So that's just off of the my regular real estate expenses. Again, I did talk about marketing for regular agents. We do have that as well. We got to promote ourselves, especially when we're not out and about. Regular agents, they're out and about. They're at different places. They're handing out business cards. People are seeing them out in action, seeing their for sale signs, and knowing about them that way. But, if you're in an office type of vibe and you're not out for people to see, you guys to get on the social media and do some marketing. And not just social media, you can still we can do like mailing postcards and stuff like that. There's all kind of different marketing strategies, but marketing is a big thing. It is going to be a big deal for referral agents for that reason, because we're not out and about. But I mean, again, even for regular agents, it's a big deal because it's just so many of them, so you got to try your best to stand out. But yeah, marketing is part of the expense. Referral agents need I wouldn't say a lot of, but a good networking tool, whether it's an app or a software. I don't have any at the moment, but it is a big deal, because again, you are just out in the office. You're not really out and about like the other agents, so most people will not know about you unless you put yourself out there and market yourself. So networking is a good thing to do, and working with other people, other agents. Of course, that's something that I will start doing by next month for sure. I will start networking and interacting with other agents, especially on social media. And so yeah, that's a big deal. Also, you have your CRM, which is your customer relations management. So those are, again, just a different type. It's another type of tool. That's a networking tool by itself, having a CRM system where you can like have, all of your people, all of your, database in one spot, where it's like, okay, you have all of the people that's interested in working with you, or any, your current clients or potential clients, and just having a network, just having a database full of people where you can, get in contact with them. If you want to categorize it by the ones who are first-time home buyers versus, the clients, the ones who are sellers, and do different email marketing campaigns and stuff like that. So having a good CRM system is good for that. So yeah, so that's something else that we have to pay for. So that's really for both. So the things that I mentioned for referral also applies to the regular agents as well, but everything in the regular agent does not apply to the referral one. So I was talking about most like I said, for the regular agents, that relates more to like your car and just just being out and about, things like that. It could be, it don't have to be a car, it could be things like business attire. If you're out and about, you may want to have more business attire. I don't have a lot because I'm not really out like that. I do have some business attire, but I'm not out like that. I'm not meeting with clients all the time, so I don't have a lot because most of the time I'm going to be home anyway. But I do have some for when I film my content. And if you have seen any of my posts from my real estate pages, I film my videos out like in the living room and in the kitchen, where we have more like neutral colors like black and gold, which are more my business colors. My main color is gold, but I also have black, white, and gray in terms of my real estate business colors. But like the living room, has more of those colors, beige and things like that. But yeah, you guys, I don't film my business stuff in there. I film it out there. I don't film my business stuff in my room with all this purple stuff, because I want it to look, more professional and whatnot. So yeah, but having business attire, you may have to buy some, some new clothes and whatnot. But yeah, you guys, so overall, those those are the things. Again, your networking tools like the CRM and the marketing, those are the main things for referral agents that we really have to pay for. Anything tech that you're using. Now I don't, Canva is one of them. If you're doing like marketing stuff or whatnot, you can do Canva. But see, my brokerage already covers Canva, so I have a free account with them. Well, a paid for account, but they pay for it, not me. So I have an account where I can go in there and I can use all of those, all of the Canva features. So I don't have to worry about that. But that's something else that you may need as an expense. But yeah, again, my brokerage covers that, so that's not one of my expenses. But yeah, all those type of things, anything office related can be an expense for referral agents. But like I said, we don't really have to worry about the gas and the mileage and the car maintenance, and then the association fees. But yeah, we do have to do our continuing education, so, and buying our license whenever it's time to renew that. So that one is a part of the referral agent's expense. But overall, you guys, that's the difference. That's, I wouldn't say that I ain't gonna lie, I am a homebody. I am a introvert, but I really just, I like my office space. I love being home, so that's the main thing that, really made me want to do this. Want to get into being a referral agent rather than stay a regular real estate agent. So yeah, I love the office vibe. I like the administrative vibe, the flexible schedule, and then the lower expenses. So those are all of the main things that stood out to me. But yeah, you guys, so if you want to learn more about being a referral agent, you are more than welcome to subscribe to this channel, and I will post my behind the scenes of what I'm doing for that on this channel every Saturday. If you want to learn, if you want to see me actually doing stuff, what I do, my services, my business, what I'm promoting, the services that I offer and how it benefits people, clients and agents, or you want to learn more about real estate, the buying process, selling process, renting process, all of that, I have my other page, my business page at Real Yasharica. So I do have a YouTube channel for that, so you can see pretty much, everything all together, because I give the full story on there, where I can do my long videos. But of course I am on a lot of other platforms as well, so you can choose which ones that you want to follow me on. And I'll see you guys in the next one.